Cinema Recall is available everywhere you find great podcasts.
The hell was that?
It's our voice promo guy.
Follow them on Facebook and Instagram under Cinema Recall Podcast and on Twitter at Cinema_Recall.
Vern, can we afford to have a voiceover guy?
We can't afford not to. He used to be a voice guy for movie trailers, but now he just follows me around and gives me movie trailer narration.
That's really sad.
What? Now we're giving him purpose in life. He now has a reason to go on.
Check out past episodes at cinemarecall.net. Promise it's fun!
I'm Bo Maddox.
And I'm Ashley Chancellor.
And this is a special At the Movies edition of Collateral Cinema. Welcome to Collateral Cinema, the only movie podcast that matters, where we focus on good movies, bad movies, and everything else in between in the world of cinema. We're podcasting straight from somewhere in South Texas, and yes, my friends, we are a 420-friendly podcast. So whatever you have, be it dabs, blunts, bongs, or joints, smoke it if you've got it. And yes, this is a special At the Movies edition of Collateral Cinema because we were sent a screener by Epic Pictures for their new 2025 action romp, Lost Horizon. This was an interesting movie, right, Ash?
Definitely interesting, yeah. I thought it was all right. I don't know if it's something that I'll put on again, but it was a fun watch. I thought the script was pretty all right. The performances were a little wooden at times, aside from a couple standouts. It was kind of fast paced, but I mean, all in all, I think I had a decent enough time with this movie. I was invested in the plot. I felt like it did the tension pretty well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that seems to be kind of the general consensus for this movie so far, is that, I mean, it's a pretty decent kind of throwback to the action movies of the 80s and 90s. That's sort of one big consensus. But yeah, definitely a lot of the acting here was a little off and everything.
It felt forced, like it kind of took me out of the immersion a little bit, which is interesting because, as far as like the cinematography, the score, the audio and everything goes, I mean, everything else is done pretty well and, kind of immersing yourself here. It's just, but the performances would take me out sometimes.
I'm going to have some things to say about the sound here in a little bit. That's another thing that I've seen kind of come up on some of these reviews here. But the plot of the movie is the main character is a military contractor, former soldier. He and his crew are working on a dam in South Africa after a civil war, and he is eventually targeted by the rebel warlords that were actually fighting the Civil War, and also a really, really interesting, crazy, and animated villain. We'll talk about him in a little bit. The Latino arms dealer, and basically hilarity ensues. Now, I mean, it's like you said just now, Ash. I mean, it was very much all right. I mean, I'm not going to really sit here and say that this movie was really 100%. 100% great all the way through. But I mean, first of all, I mean, the story itself, I mean, it's pretty standard fare for this type of movies. Like, I mean, if you're familiar with the type of the type of 90s and 80s action movies, like from the late 80s to early 90s, you know, the type that would have went straight to video or would have had like a small release in theaters, you know, like I believe this movie had a theatrical release as well. But I mean, it really kind of does invoke that missing in action type of feel, you know, the type of movies that would have been fronted by Chuck Norris or Dolph Lundgren or Rutger Hauer back in the day, you know.
Mm-hmm. Sure, yeah. I could definitely see that. I mean, and it does kind of work as kind of an homage to those types of films. But you know, even without that, I mean, it's a pretty fun military movie. I mean, the action scenes were pretty good. I think it spends there's quite a bit of time spent on just like talking about shit, you know.
Yeah, it really does kind of feel like there's a lot of just scenes in rooms with people talking, which is fine. I mean, you need to set up the actual intrigue of the story and everything, but
right.
I mean, there's some moments where it did kind of seem like the movie kind of slowed to a crawl in spite of its fast pacing with the script and everything.
Yeah.
There are some moments that just kind of drag a little bit, right?
Yeah, and it's an hour and 30 minutes, but at times it feels longer than that. It's like the plot progresses quickly and we're moving from one place to the other, but a few parts of the movie do drag on quite a bit, and you're just kind of like, okay, like, can we get to the next action scene? Because that's really what I'm here for, you know. And even, you know, like the other plot threads that they're throwing at you, like the romance and the girl that's the daughter of the landowner or whatever.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a scattershot story, you know? Like, it even kind of feels like, almost like it's like two scripts kind of put together a little bit here and there, and they just kind of made it work.
There's a few different like plot threads going on at the same time, but even so, like, I'm here for those kinds of scenes. Like, get me to that. Get me to the forced romance rather than, you know, listening to us talking about it. I feel like you can cut out like several bits of dialogue of this movie and it would actually be better for it. Even with the shorter runtime.
Man, you can't have a movie like this without a forced romance, right?
No.
I mean, it seems like just such an essential part of those B-movie action type movies back in the day was that there was almost always some kind of love interest thrown in there. Like even in some of the better movies, you know, like in Bloodsport, that has a good example of that, you know, or in Commando. I mean, even though I don't know if she was actually a love interest, but I mean, yeah, it's like you kind of have to have that as a genre convention a little bit. And yeah, this is a movie that definitely lives and dies by its genre conventions. I mean, like especially when it's trying to go for that throwback quality.
Yeah. And the girl he falls in love with is a journalist. And and like she's just like here in the middle of this war zone and just I actually kind of I felt like that part of the movie was at least more fun to me than any of the other things that were going on. And then, you know, like I said, whatever the hell was going on with the owner's daughter too. I mean, that was also something that was like subtly romantic undertones to it. Like there needed to be like a second girl. A second young blonde girl for a second young blonde girl. It's like, did we really need two female leads in this movie? Once again, it doesn't help with the allegations of this being kind of two scripts kind of put together here, which, you know, I'm not going to really tear into the filmmakers too much for, but it's like, you know, it's like you could kind of tell in a movie like that. But in spite of that, it still turns out to be a pretty fun movie when you really kind of get into it. I mean, it's like, there are the parts that do drag a little bit, but I mean, you do kind of get a good feel for what the story is trying to get at.
You know?
Well, and at least when it's throwing those things at you, you can appreciate them in the same way you might in like an 80s B movie, you know? It's kind of just like part of it. Like, give me more of that. Don't try to make this serious and political.
Yeah, it does kind of feel like they kind of dip their toes into that a little bit, you know, because we have a very nondescript civil conflict. Like, I mean, I don't think they really go into the real backstory of the Civil War in this movie, but
No.
I mean, apparently the main character is there to build some kind of infrastructure, like a dam or something, and it's apparently very, very important militarily and whatnot. So, I mean, that's about as deep as they get into it. And it's a little surface level, but I mean that's really kind of all you need for these types of movies, though. It's like you don't need a deep story, but also you still need something to bite onto, you know, and to chew.
Yeah, definitely.
And whatnot.
Definitely.
Yeah.
No, and it's like, you know, honestly, it's like, don't give us something and then just not explain it. It would have been better to just leave it out at all. But at least, you know, it's all just very vague. And I think this was filmed in South Africa, so I think we can assume that's where it takes place. I don't know that they ever say that in the film.
I mean, yeah, they don't really say explicitly, unless we really missed it, what African... They're obviously in an African country, but it's kind of left vague which country they are. But I mean, yeah, it could very well be someplace in South Africa. I mean, they do still have some conflicts there. Not really a civil war, but, you know, some conflicts. But
yeah, it's like generic South African country. But I do believe this was filmed in South Africa. And that actually does help with you know, having the setting being on location there. You know, it kind of helps with the authenticity, the immersion. Just, you know, maybe we could have spent more shots there in the landscape than in buildings.
Yeah, exactly. You know, once again, we were spending a lot of time in buildings, you know, just watching people talk, which is all fine and everything. You need some of those. But yeah, there's just a point where, you know, we're here for the action. Let's get to the action, you know, especially if it's a military type conflict that we're into. But going back to the nondescript African country, I mean, in many ways, that's kind of fine with like going back to the 80s and 90s action movies. I mean, that's kind of a feature of some of those movies, is like you have really nondescript villains. Like I would say like maybe Street Fighter was the most explicit with their fake army and everything in that movie. But it's like it's once again another genre convention that you can kind of expect from something like this.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. No, and like, yeah, it kind of just hits all of those check boxes. So I think it achieves what it does there. Like you said, Bo, this is a fun movie. I don't know that it's anything really to write home about, anything to like, you know, I don't know that there's anything that's like really memorable. But I had a good time with it. So, you know, like when you're taking me to these different like set pieces and whatnot, I mean, I think that's where the film is at its best, you know, or really just the action scenes. Those were, you know, those were fun. Those were cool, but they're very fast and then they're gone. And then there's more talking in cars or buildings.
Yeah, I will say the actual action scenes are pretty well choreographed and they're well scripted. You know, we have a few firefights, and especially when you get to the end and we get to the final conflict where everything just kind of comes together in the end. It's like, I mean, it feels, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but anyway, I mean, the action scenes, they're very comparable to some of the stuff that you saw in the 80s and 90s, but also maybe a little bit, you know, what I feel is kind of an overlooked era when it comes to B action movies is like the early to mid 2000s. Mm-hmm. Like I mean, those were movies that kind of had a very distinctive feel to them and a very distinctive quality that's, you know, so 2000s, you know, it was like, you know, we were making that transition into using digital technology to make films and everything. You kind of saw that here. But I mean, there's some moments here that kind of made me think of some of those action movies that you would probably find on like a 5-movie pack or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yes, this would fit exactly with one of those. Yeah, and so it's like one of those movies you put the disc in, and I mean you play all those movies once. Who knows if you'd ever watch them again? But it would be a fun night.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it makes most sense to have a movie like this on there. And it's like, I mean, if you're a DVD collector like I am, you know exactly the ones I'm talking about. I mean, you can find them at resellers for like $3.99 or something like that. Mm-hmm. But I mean, this is also a movie that I feel would really, really work well on something like Tubi as well. You know, I mean, I understand that it's on VOD right now. You can rent it and or buy it or whatever, even on YouTube. But it's like on Tubi, this is the type of movie that platform just kind of loves, you know? It loves to just kind of throw these types of action movies at us. So same thing with some of the horror movies that they have on there, you know? So, I mean, this does kind of have that feel to it. But I will say that as far as the cinematography is concerned, it's not really the worst I've seen by far. You know, it's not. It's definitely competently shot at the very least.
Yeah. Like I mentioned, the cinematography is pretty decent. I mean, there were some shots that I was watching that I was like, okay, yeah. Even though this was a independently produced film, you know, on a low budget, there are some shots that look like high quality. In fact, there are aspects of it to me that's you know looks like a higher budget almost, higher production value at least. But you know, then you know you get to some of the performances and you're like, okay, yeah, that was a little off. And so the low budget kind of starts to peek through, but you know, like you said, as far as the camera work goes, I mean that was all pretty solid. I was impressed.
It was, especially during the action scenes. I mean, it wasn't edited in a way that made it unintelligible or anything like that. I mean, you could actually really follow, you know, what's actually happening in each sequence, you know, which I mean, for some movies, especially recently, I mean, they're kind of getting out of doing that, but now it's like the editing here is definitely kind of scaled back a little bit. If, you know, sometimes leads to some questionable story beats, you know, especially near the middle.
Yeah,
you know, involving said forced romance, I might add. You know. You know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
If you've seen the movie, you know what I mean. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But let's get to some of the performances here. I mean, I really have no issue with the guy who played the main protagonist here, Mike, I believe his name was.
Yeah, Tom Fairfoot is the actor.
Tom Fairfoot. Yeah, it's like he definitely gives that kind of that kind of, you know, he's an everyman type of mercenary, you know, like, I mean, he's definitely an ethical mercenary. He's not there to like try to cause any problems or anything. He's just there to do the job, and he's there to, you know, and see it through and whatnot. He's just kind of pulled into this conflict without much to his chagrin and everything. You know?
He's your very typical grizzled, retired military, now gun for hire kind of dude who attracts all the young hot blondes.
Apparently so, yeah. And the girl who played his girlfriend, the journalist,
Amy Bates.
Like, that's where you kind of get some of the wonkiness with the performances. You know,
I agree.
She's not bad, but it really feels like, I mean, they could have worked on some of the delivery of her lines a little bit.
I did feel like some of the actors, like, you know, I could tell they weren't professional actors. You know, it's like this feels like somebody you kind of just put something together. Like I don't want to say like a Neil Breen movie because that's a whole other level, but you know what I mean. It's like just those people you got together. You know, and I'm sure these are people who are looking for more work, and you know maybe they're starting their career. But obviously some of them are a little bit better off than others. I like I said, Tom Fairfoot. I mean, he's pretty all right.
Yeah, and his chemistry with the journalist girl, I mean, it's actually pretty good, but it's not really, you know, it kind of breaks immersion a little bit because of her performance. It's just not. I mean, it's good, but Fairfoot is doing a little better, I think. There.
Exactly.
I don't want to trash the actress or anything, but And then you have that colonel, who's the head of the actual military operation.
Yeah,
it's like some of his line deliveries were interesting. And
interesting
we'll
is
talk
a great
about,
word for it.
yeah, he's a little intense, right? He kind of gives a little bit of intensity with his performance, where it's just like, okay, yeah. It's like I've seen this type of character in these types of movies before.
Yeah, I don't know. If you're gonna do something like that, just go full method with it.
Right.
It's weird. Yeah.
I thought the dust had settled after the Civil War.
That's what they want the world to believe. The powers that be, they need the peace agreement to be a success.
My men are all ex-military. They know the drill.
Time is of the essence, Mr. Foster.
Noted, sir.
My daughter Leia, she was taken from the lake this morning.
Let me go!
I need your help.
We gotta go, Mike.
We've got less than 30 minutes before the border closes. And tonight, we're the only shot. Jungle detour, wouldn't recommend it.
Why are the rebels targeting me?
Make sure to keep him off my track. We need to know everything about the rebels. Manpower, weapons, location. What do you want to do?
We have a problem, boss.
Yes, you do.
Your family believes they own everything. You think you can take what you want? This land is ours now.
Yeah, I'm not exactly an adrenaline junkie, but that was cutting it close, right?
Stay with me.
She is mine! Covering!
I've waiting for this for a long time.
And then of course you have Fairfoot's actual crew, which is his two soldier buddies.
That's
it's
where
like
they're fun and endearing, but like that's also where I felt like the performances started feeling kind of hammy. It felt very like, okay, yeah, guys, we're a team. This is what we do.
Oh yeah, they go full ham on some of these scenes, like straight up, especially when you get to some of the fist fights, it's like they kind of go all in on it.
Yeah, but I mean that kind of also adds to the B movie aesthetic. So I don't know how intentional that was, but
but honestly, the best part of this movie, like the best parts are the rebel warlord and the Latino arms dealer.
Yes.
It's like the dude that played the arms dealer. Oh my God, he feels like he knows what kind of movies he's in.
Yeah.
So he's just gonna go all in on it.
Definitely.
And he kind of plays it really unhinged, but also just really almost comedic in a way.
Truly the Chris R of this film.
He really is. Yeah, definitely. And then the rebel warlord, he has his own kind of intensity, he's in cahoots with the arms dealer and everything, but I mean, he pretty much fills his role pretty competently, and he's definitely intimidating, but also really fun to watch, man. It's like most of the scenes in this movie that feature him are very, very watchable. That's where the movie kind of picks up for me a little bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think the villains are kind of doing a lot of the heavy lifting as far as the performances go. It's like
a lot of the heavy lifting. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but they were great though.
No,
Very-
yeah, every
very
scene that they're in is fun and take keeps your attention, and that's what you want. It's like we could have gotten more of that. And so instead of some of those scenes where we're just like talking about the mission and talking about the dam or whatever or some shit I don't care about. Like we could have just done a flash over to one of the villains and just have them, the warlord or the arms dealer, just like have some more scenes with both of them.
Absolutely. I mean, to be fair, they did try to do that through the movie a little bit. But I mean, yeah, they could have really added a few more scenes with them interacting because that shit was just hilarious.
I would have taken that.
Yeah, and then the colonel and his daughter. That was I don't know. I guess they were okay in this movie. Especially the girl who played the daughter.
Like I said, I mean, she's just kind of just like another hot blonde that really didn't need to be there. Maybe it felt like that's where you said, Bo, maybe that's where they like added another script in because it's like, like she just kind of, she shows up at the scenes that she's in. Can't really see where, what she's necessary for other than to introduce the protagonist to the colonel. I think I called him the owner of the property or something earlier, but colonel, that's what they call him.
Yeah,
and the other dude was the major.
That is his property. He's the owner of the property, and he's also one of the commanding officers of the military operation behind it and everything.
Yeah.
But I mean, it just kind of feels like they're there just to add, just to add more to the conflict and give the main characters something to do.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know that they really do anything with that plot thread either, because it's like she's just there to introduce him to the colonel, and then like the colonel and him just kind of come to an agreement about something to adjust the plans for the dam. But really, where does that go? Because and then they just kind of show up in the third act later to give something to do. It's like, and she's just kind of there to be an objective.
Yeah, almost like a damsel in distress, honestly.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say actually. Like
not to give away too much,
right? But I don't want to give away too much. That's yeah,
exactly. But
it's like they felt like they needed to add a damsel there, and it's like, okay, I don't know that you really needed to.
It really does.
Yeah,
it really does. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get into my main complaint with this movie. It's something that was brought up in a couple of the other reviews that I viewed, and I 100% concur here. I mean, it may be just because it's a screener and it's not the actual final product. Maybe if we were to rent it and watch it or on VOD or something like that, maybe it'd be different. But the audio, man, the sound design and the sound mixing, it just wasn't up to snuff for me, man. It's like the music just sounds like it wasn't even mixed or anything. It didn't sound like it had any kind of compression on it to bring up the gain structure or anything. Like it didn't feel like it was properly mastered. A lot of the actual gunfire in this movie, the sounds those aren't mixed properly. So I mean, you're not really getting the full impact. Although to their credit, they did pay attention to some detail and try to match the proper gun sounds to the guns that were being used and everything. So they at least showed that much attention to detail in the sound design. But for some reason, it just feels like the mixing is either unfinished or it just wasn't mastered or something, or sweetened or anything. There's the scenes where the dialogue is like way louder than the background music. It's like you could just barely kind of hear the background music. It's like, and it's like, especially in moments where, you need that to add impact to these action scenes. And it's like, none of that was really solid,
Yeah.
And then there was the other thing is lots of ADR, very noticeable ADR in this movie, which understandable because I mean, there's a lot of accents in this movie, so I mean, I'm sure that they had to go back and clean up a lot of stuff, but there is like especially one scene involving the colonel's daughter when she's first caught and she talks to Tom Fairfoot's character. It's like you could hear the boothiness of that really badly. Like I mean, if you're going to do ADR, you don't want it to sound like you're in a booth. You know, you want it to sound natural, and it was just incongruous. And I'm just like, I mean, guys, did y'all even mix this properly?
I did notice the ADR. Although earlier I brought up that, you know, like the score and the sound design actually up as points of the film that were serviceable. So my ears are not as attuned as you. So I did notice the ADR. Everything else, I guess I didn't catch. There were a couple scenes though where I noticed that it was a little bit jarring. Like you just have like a shot where you just have music and then it would like cut to a shot where you hear like the ambient noises. And it was a little jarring, things like that. But
yeah, it's like they didn't take any room tone and add it in or anything like that.
Yeah,
and I mean, and there's moments where you can really notice when the edit is of the ADR is present. Like you can really hear it if you listen closely enough. You know, it just kind of stops. You know, it's like then you're still hearing the quality of the boothiness and everything. But yeah, and I really want to just kind of chalk all of that up to this being a screener. So I don't know. Maybe if you do watch it on demand or you watch it via streaming now that it's officially out, maybe that was corrected. Maybe it was just because it's an unfinished screener or whatnot. But
yeah,
I mean, those were definitely concerns for me. I mean, there were moments where literally, like, there's like you could just barely hear the faintest background music, and the dialogue is really, really loud. It's like, and I'm just like, what the hell? That's a little jarring.
Yeah,
you know, and especially with it being ADR'd audio and everything.
Right, like with them adding that in post, like you think that they could have, you know, done that a little bit better. Like I said, I didn't really notice that, but I think that might explain why some of the scenes didn't land with, you know, as well as they could have. And I did notice at least one or two other reviewers mention the ADR, that it was noticeable.
Yeah, and I saw at least one mention the background audio being too low as well. So be forewarned, that might be an issue here, but I can't really say 100% because, you know, this was a screener. So, sure. I mean, maybe we shouldn't take any points off for that, but I mean, I don't know. Like for an audio engineer like me, it's like glaring. You know, it's just like, oh man, what did they do here?
Yeah,
you know. But anyway, I think that's about as much as we can really get into without, you know, getting into full-on spoilers here. So let's go ahead and get into our final thoughts. Go ahead, Ash.
All right. Well, yeah, Lost Horizon was a fun time. You know, I feel like if maybe it leaned a little bit more into that 80s movie aesthetic and kind of embraced it a little bit more, it might have resonated a little more. But because it's like there are moments where like it did feel like the film was trying to be a little bit more serious than maybe it needed to be, but without, you know, really giving us all of the details, you know, remaining vague and stuff. So, but it works. You know, it's a fun movie. I had a good time with it. I actually watched it, you know, a couple times. So I don't know, you know, if I'll watch it again, but it's definitely worth checking out if you're, you know, a fan of independent filmmaking or you're a fan of these types of movies. I would say check it out. And, you know, it's definitely worth at least one watch. And yeah, you know, just don't expect, you know, the next big thing, but and obviously, you know, you may or may not notice some audio issues during it that are, for people who are more in tune with this stuff, pretty glaring. But like I said, you know, like the performances took me out a little bit, but everything else worked. And even like the performances is something I can be like, yeah, that kind of adds to the aesthetic though. So yeah, no, it's pretty fun. It was solid enough.
Right on. And I'm going to concur with most all of what you just said. I mean, my experience with the movie was, it was easy to get into, which is always a plus for these types of movies.
Yeah.
It's just once you actually get into you get into the meat and potatoes of this movie, it's like you're going to find some things about it that are definitely going to glare at you a little bit, but you're going to find other things about it that, kind of stand out and are kind of interesting. So, yeah, I mean, this is definitely like a good movie night movie, like you just pop a couple of beers and just kind of get through the movie and, you have a good movie night, So, I mean, at the very least, yeah, give it a watch. Like maybe rent it, I would say. But it's a mixed bag. Don't expect like a whole lot from it. Just know what you're getting into. Know what you want to get out of it. Is basically what I'm saying. So I'm going to recommend seeing it. It's just there's a few things few concerns that I had about it, but that, like I said, could just be because we have a screener. So I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. Hell yeah, bro.
Well, all right. That is our review of Lost Horizon 2025. Ash, what's going on with Collateral Gaming right now?
Well, on Collateral Gaming, by now we should have out part 2 of our Ghost of Yotei episodes. So go check out both part 1 and part 2. And part 2 would be our full spoiler review. We also will have out a game launch episode on Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. Probably just going to be me doing a solo episode, but it'll be fun. So we'll have a game launch, and then for our December content, we are covering Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. So we'll have a 2-part episode out on that, hopefully by the end of the month. And our holiday special is going to be The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. So we should have that out by Christmas. We'll have some kind of post-holiday content on the bonus round. In fact, we're going to be reviewing the Angry Video Game Nerd 8-bit games. So I'm excited for that. We'll have a year-end review in January. And also check out Collateral Let's Play. I did just get out our first episode of Metroid Monday. You can check that out on both the Collateral Gaming and Cinema YouTube channels. We covered Metroid Prime 4, the opening moments. So that was a lot of fun. It's my most anticipated game this year. Not only are we talking about it on the podcast, but I have 3 Let's Plays already recorded and ready to release for Metroid Monday and Shooter Saturday. So we'll have a Shooter Saturday episode on Black Ops 7 and then a Metroid Monday on Metroid Prime 4 and then a Shooter Saturday on Metroid Prime 4. And that should conclude that. We'll also have Phoenix Wright Wednesday content here. Bo and I will get together when I come down and we'll definitely record something. And we'll have a holiday Let's Play where we play through Chronos The New Dawn. So yeah, definitely a lot to look forward to. And if you want to support either show, we do have a Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee, and we do have a merch store. And I'm sorry, Bo, what's going on with Collateral Cinema next?
By the time we have this out, we should also have our Buttercream Gang 2 episode for Bad Movie December. We had Cam from the Jacked Up Review Show come on to that one, so look for that one. And we will be getting to our annual Neil Breen movie, which is going to be Cade the Tortured Crossing. So yeah, look for that coming out very soon. And our holiday content is going to be the new Silent Night, Deadly Night movie. Hopefully we can find a way to watch that very soon. That'll be coming out. And we'll also be doing a collaboration with Victims and Villains / Abyss Gazing on that one. And on their end, we're going to do Santa's Sleigh, which is going to be awesome. Another fun horror Christmas for us this year. And our post-holiday content is going to be the Christmas episodes of Smiling Friends and the YOLO series. So look for that. And we will also have a year in review episode out after the first of the year. So look for all of that. And just like Ash said, it's like we're on all the socials and we have the Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee and all that. So yeah.
Hell yeah, bro.
All right. So yeah, this has been a interesting at the movies episode. Especially since we got a screener here. We want to thank Epic Pictures for sending that to us and for contacting us and everything. So, yeah, check this movie out. And anything else to add, Ash?
No, I think that's it.
Alrighty. Then we're going to go ahead and close it down now. I'm Bo Maddox.
And I'm Ashley Chancellor.
And this was Collateral Cinemas at the Movies. Laters. Collateral Cinema is a Collateral Media podcast. All music and movie clips are owned by the respective creators and are used for educational purposes only. Please don't sue us. We're poor.